Hi, welcome back to Masechet Ta'anit, Daf Bet. We are going to begin with the Gemara immediately following the Mishnah. Tana Hecha Kai. Where is the Tana located? Meaning, where is the Tana conceptually? Tikatani me'ematai. When he teaches me'ematai. Meaning, this question, this conversation, from when do we begin saying Gevuot Geshamim, in what ambiance, in what atmosphere is it taking place? Tana Hatam Kai. The Tana is here, is situated here. Dikatani, as it was taught in a Mishnah, Mazkirin Gevuot Geshamim b'tchiyat hametim v'shoalim b'birkat hashanim v'havdalah v'chonen hadat. So there is a Mishnah which states that we mention rain, we mention Moshe V'roch Amrit HaGashem in the bracha of tchiyat hametim, and we ask for the years, for the bracha of the years, and we say Havdalah in the bracha of Chonen Hadat. So that's something that we learn in a Mishnah. Bekatani me'imatai mazkirin Gevuot Geshamim. Really, I'll make this a comma. And so immediately following that Mishnah and brachot, our Tana then asked, from when do we start saying Gevuot Geshamim? That's the first answer. The Gemara rejects this. B'litnei hatam. Let it teach it there. If it's responding to a Mishnah in brachot, then our Tana should have said this in brachot, or somewhere in Zraim at least. Ma'ishna d'shavkei aracha. Why? What's the difference? Why did it wait? Why did it leave it until here? It doesn't make sense to wait until Moed to mention something that's related to brachot. Ella, rather, we have a different answer. Tana mi Rosh Hashanah salik. The Tana is emerging from a conversation in Masechet Rosh Hashanah. Titnan, as we learned in a Mishnah, uvechag nidonin al hamayim. That on Chag, on Sukkot, we are judged for water, meaning that's when it's decided how much water we'll get that year. This is part of the quote also, and all of that comes again from the Mishnah in Rosh Hashanah. And since it's taught that on Sukkot we're judged about water, Tana me'imatai mazkirin Gevuot Geshamim. Our Tana responded, it was taught, from when do we mention Gevuot Geshamim? And now we have an answer to our first question. And let it say, from when do we mention rain? My Gevuot Geshamim. What's with this phrase about Gevuot Geshamim? Amar Rabbi Yochanan, mipnei sheyordin b'gvura. Because it comes down with strength, with power. Shene'emar, as it says, Oseg dolot adin chaker v'niflaot adin mispar. That God does great things to no limit and miracles without number, without any limit. This is the pasuk from the Torah. I'll put it in yellow. Uktiv hanoten matar al pnei eretz v'sholeach mayim al pnei chutzot. And it also says that God sends water onto the land and also sends water down. So there's a reference to God doing great things. There's a reference to water. My mashma. What does this mean? Or to be more exact, it's something like, how does this mean this, right? How do we get anything about Gevuot Geshamim from these psukim? Amar Rava bar Shela, Atya chaker chaker mebriyato shel olam. We learn out, or we compare chaker, one time when it says chaker, and a second time when it says chaker, from the creation of the world. K'tiv hacha, it says here, meaning in the pasuk previously mentioned, oseg dolot adin chaker, that God does these great things without limit. That's the pasuk in Eov. Uktiv hatam, and it says there in Yeshayahu, Halayadata im lo shemata elokei olam Hashem barek tzot haaretz lo ya'ef lo yiga ein cheker l'tvunato. That God, don't you know, God is the creator, and God, has created everything in the world. God doesn't get tired, and there's no limit, there's no boundary to God's wisdom or God's knowledge. So the first pasuk clearly talks about there not being limits, and on God's greatness. It uses the word chaker. The second pasuk is speaking specifically about the creation of the world, and says, that that's another place where the word cheker is used. So cheker is created to God's creation of the world. There is no cheker. And uktiv mechin harim bekocho ne'ezar b'gvura. And it also says, a pasuk in Tehillim, that God prepares mountains with His strength, prepares mountains, and with His strength girds Himself in strength. Also, koach and gvura, similar words. So in other words, we have 3 psukim to get to this limud, but the first pasuk is telling us that God does things without limit. The second one has the connection to without limit being connected to the creation of the world, and the third one mentions gvura. So the first one, which is connected to rain, has to do with creation, and creation has to do with gvura, and so it's a 3-step process. Rain, right, because the 2 psukim in Eov, which are one after the other, have to do with God not setting limits with regard to rain. So the rain pasuk is connected to the creation pasuk, and the creation pasuk is connected to the gvura pasuk, and that's how we know that that rain is connected to gvura. Okay. Uminalan to betfila. And how do we know, or from where do we know? Minalan is really what's the source for, from where do we know that this happens in tefillah? Meaning, how do we know that you should actually say this request for rain in the Shemona Esrei? Titania, as we learned in Breita, la'ahava et Hashem Elokechem u'lavdo b'chol levavchem. So this Breita quotes a pasuk from the Torah, that you should love, in order that you will love God and serve God with all your heart. This is a very famous Breita. Ezohi avodah shehi balev. What constitutes work in the heart? Right? What is avodah that happens in your heart? Havei omer zo tefillah. One could say, this is prayer. Uktiv batre, and it says after that, Benatati mataratzachem b'ito yireh malkosh. And so right after this mention of what we're interpreting as being prayer, the Torah says that God will give rain on your land. And so putting it all together, we've got a mention of prayer and a mention of rain. So it must be that you should mention rain in your prayer. Amar Rabbi Yochanan, Gimel maftechot biyado shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. There are 3 keys. Maftech is a key. There are 3 keys in God's hands. Shelo nimseru biyad shaliach, that God never gave over to a messenger. Ve'elohen, and here they are. Maftech shel geshamim, the key to rain, the key to making rainfall. Maftech shel chaya, the key to pregnancy. Maftech shel tchiyat hametim, and the key to reviving the dead. Maftech shel geshamim. How do we know? There's a missing how do we know there, but what do we know about Maftech Shel Geshamim, about the key to rain? Tichtiv, as it says in the pasuk, Yiftach Hashem Lacha et Otzro Hatov et Hashemayim Latet Matar Etzacha Be'ito. So the pasuk specifically makes reference to God. God will open for you His good storehouse, which is the sky, in order to give rain in its proper time. So it makes specific reference to God opening the storehouse. Only God can open the storehouse of rain. Mafteach shel chaya minayin. From where do we know about the mafteach of pregnancy? Right? Where do we get that from? That only God has that. Dichtiv, as it says in the pasuk, v'yizkor Elohim et Rachel, that God remembered Rachel. V'yishma. Sorry, I'm turning the page. V'yishma alea Elokim v'yivtach et rachma. And God listened to her and opened her womb. So again, only God can open a womb. Mafteach shel tchiyat hametim minayin. From where do we know about the key to resuscitating the dead? Tichtiv, as it says in the pasuk in Yechezkel, v'yadatem ki ani Hashem b'pilchi et kivrotechem. You will know that I am God when I open up your graves. So that is something that is specific to God, apparently. The Ma'arava Amre, in the West, they said, Af mafteach, that could be a colon, Af mafteach shel parnasah. Also the key to financial well-being, right? The key to making money, that's also only in the hands of God. Dichtiv, poteach et yadecha v'gomer. As it says in Tehillim, and you could probably finish this pasuk in your minds, right? God opens up his hands. So only God can give sustenance in that way. For Rabbi Yochanan, my time lo chashiv laha. Why? What's the reason? My time is what's the reason? What's the reason that Rabbi Yochanan doesn't consider that one? Meaning, why does Rabbi Yochanan not include the mafteach shel parnasah on his list? Amar lacha, Rabbi Yochanan would say to you, Geshamim hainu parnasah. Geshamim, rain, is the same as financial well-being, as financial sustenance, meaning he didn't have to add another key. In an agricultural society, they're one and the same. So saying the key to rain is the same thing as saying the key to parnasah. Okay, we'll stop here.